It pays to be slow and methodical here. The trigger point referral patterns can take up to 15 or 20 seconds to fire up. Lifting and relocating, get a good sense of the muscle. If I was to focus on the superficial fibers, the sternal head, I will let some of the deeper fibers slip through my grip until I'm just on the sternal head. A little twitch there. If I want to get the distal fibers of the sternal head, lift up your head, and we'll change hands and drop it down. And this is just the superficial fibers of the sternal head. Next, I'm going to do some cross-fiber frictions. Start proximally on the mastoid process of the temple bone. Transverse frictions. Cover quite a bit of area here. And I can friction the distal attachments on the sternum and the clavicle. Going to apply a little lotion now, loosen glides, brace and glide. And opposing thumb glides. Next, I'd like to stretch that right side out. So I'm going to remove the beanbag and I'm going to take the head across, and if you could help me, this is active isolated stretching, across, making sure not to cover the ear with my upper hand.
Anyone take an active isolated stretching for the Aaron bodies? Didn't he just, Ben Benjamin? Yeah. Didn't he just do that in the last thing? Right. So that technique looks more aggressive than it actually is. He's really gently rotating with, she's turning and he's just assisting at the end. If somebody has a range of motion problem, I'm going to demo a different way to stretch SCM that isn't quite so rotational, more over the back with a pillow. But again, remember it works contralaterally, so if you're treating the right SCM, you think about where it goes from here to here. If you're stretching it this way, it's going to lengthen. That's why he was rotating it on the same side when he was stretching it. Does that make sense? Okay. Any questions on that? You're starting to see some similarities here. Grasping, dry, pincer palpation or flat when appropriate. Then some crossover friction at the bony attachments, and then gliding. So it's kind of the way we work with it, the tissue.
Is there a specific point within this muscle that you usually find trigger points?
Yes, good question. Always find the mid-belly, but I always see guys get up towards the mastoid process because that's where people go forward. So I would strongly suggest checking high up.
use a 6-finger contact in the cranial base release position. Then we're going to emphasize one finger at a time to access each of the muscles individually. If I concentrate on my ring finger first, I get rectus scapus posterior minor. If I concentrate on my middle finger, I'll get rectus scapus posterior major. And if I concentrate on my index finger, I'll get obliquus capitis superior, the more lateral of the muscles. I could ask for a little nodding motion to activate the muscles, tiny little nods, repeated. And then I could get the head to rest, but the eyes to move down and up for a more subtle movement. For obliquus capitis inferior, I'm going to find the spinous process of C2 and the transverse of C1, trace out a line, and then get the head to turn to the right. Subtle little movement, please, smaller movement, and let go. Turn and let go, turn and let go. It can also be done with just eye movement on its own, so eyes go to the left and right and left and right.